This season we're going to be visiting all 20 Premier League stadiums for either a tour or a match. So far we've done Anfield, so never did I think that I'd be sat on the front row of the Kop. Goodison Park.
Welcome to Everton Football Club.
Villa Park. And of course, Old Trafford. Got my programme. And today, we're taking a tour of Molineux, home of Wolverhampton Wanderers, aka Wolves. So if you're a subscriber of the channel, you might have heard me mention that as a kid, there was a slight possibility that I almost became a Villa fan. Hang on, I know that's not going to go down too well around here, but hear me out. My stepdad is a Wolves fan, so I had the pleasure of coming to Molineux many times as a kid. I even went to football training when I was like 5 or 6 in a little Wolves jumper. So quite a spoilt childhood really. Mum, Villa fan. Biological father, Man United fan / Hereford United fan. So I got to go to games at Villa Park, I got to go to games at Old Trafford, even Edgar Street. But yeah, stepdad, Wolves fan. So if I wasn't spoilt enough, I got to see Wolves play as well, which probably explains why I'm so messed up, why my loyalties are so divided. They're not divided, you know I'm a Man United fan. But this Man United fan is very much looking forward to this tour today. Before we get on the tour though guys, I am going to have a little wander around the ground, and as we head through this tunnel right in front of me, we're going to get a little glimpse as to Wolves' history, some facts on the wall. So let's start right here, shall we? Wolves are set to play Newcastle right here at Molineux this weekend. Newcastle off the back of a loss in the Champions League, and Wolves have been quite unlucky so far this season, and I'm saying that as a Man United fan. You know what I'm talking about. They're going to be playing here, and I think Pedro Neto is going to continue his bright spell of form. He's going to be on fire, so much so I've actually picked Neto as one of my 5 Fantasy 5 picks this week. You've probably heard of Fantasy 5. It's that free-to-play fantasy football game where you pick one player from each of the 5 matches featured in the hope that they beat their points target. I'll let you know in a bit what my 5 picks for this game week were, but go and show them some love. There's a link in the description below. It's free to play, and you can win up to £17,500 in weekly jackpots. So shout out to Fantasy 5. And I feel like I've hit the jackpot today, being outside Molineux. Not even started the tour. So here we go. We're outside the Billy Wright stand, as you can see over there. What I love about the Molineux Stadium is all the little branding. You know, it's not just obvious branding like badges put on the wall. They've actually like embedded stuff within the wall. If you look over there, we go over to it in a moment. There's an actual wolf in the brickwork. Little things like that. I did see earlier on a door with like a W. Ah, it's over there. It's down there. We'll get to there in a moment. But I love the branding. It's really on point. You've got the colour scheme. I think it's classed as gold, is it? Even though it looks orangey to us non-Wolves supporters. I know my stepdad gets a bit annoyed if I refer to it as orange. There might be another term, not gold. But you can see everywhere is themed, in theme should I say, to the Wolves branding. Let's go and find that wall, shall we? You've got the obvious stuff like the logo, the badge should I say. I hate it being referred, hate football badges being called logos. They're crests, emblems, badges. Now this wolf over here, which is essentially the Wolves badge, I remember my stepdad being a bit annoyed. Was it around the mid-90s when they moved on from the crest and they rebranded with this? And at the time, I thought it looked quite simple because football badges back then were a little bit more complex. Man United had Manchester United Football Club written on the badge. Wolves had, I don't know if there's a crest anywhere for me to look, but they had something a little bit more complicated. They rebranded. Now in 2023, I just think it looks badass. It looks cool as anything. Anything wolf-like is cool. And that badge is cool as really cool, and I love that. That's cool. Everything about this little wander around Molineux is cool so far, apart from the host, apart from me. I'm not cool. But as you can see, the good thing with Molineux, and I mentioned this when we did the local football grounds tour with Forest Green, Cheltenham and Swindon, I love the corners being open. I know, you know, it's good for the club to have the corners filled, more capacity, more money and stuff. But when you've got the corners open and you walk around the ground, it just takes you inside. Obviously we'll be going in there later on anyway for a tour, but I love those little subtle hints. It's like when your missus wears something sexy, you know, rather than actually getting everything out. When she does things subtly, you can use your imagination, wears some nice, I don't know, nice sexy like underwear or something. You've not got a full glimpse of what's on offer, but you've got a tease, and that's a bloody tease right there. Again, I mentioned the brickwork up there. They've even got branding within the floor, within the block paving. Really, really cool, that is. I know Wolves have kind of got a slightly simplified badge. It's probably easier to do it than other clubs, but I've not really seen it, or I've not seen it so far on any of the stadium tours I've done this season. We're going to be doing all 20, as I mentioned at the start of the video, but so far, good impressions. Billy Wright stand right behind me. We're going to take some close-up. We're going to take a close-up look. There is Billy Wright actually in the distance, a statue, and there is that W as well. That W. So again, the branding is everywhere, not just through logos, through colour scheme, and even the W right in front of the door. So guys, if you look over there, not only have you got the W, but you've even got the Wolves logo as door handles. Let's take a closer look. Players and officials only. And there we go. I know the branding of the stadium isn't really that important in the grand scheme of things, but it's really nice for the fans. It's a really good fan experience when, you know, everything is tied in. I know, maybe it's just me, I don't know, let me know in the comments below, but door handles, W's, logos in the floor, logos in the wall. Very impressive so far. I can't remember all these fine details when I came up here as a kid. Probably didn't care back then. So as you can see, the Billy Wright stand over here runs adjacent to a road, so it's quite noisy. The far side, opposite side to this, where I started off in that intro, is a little less scenic. Obviously it's opposite that college, I think. It's not on the road, no one quite sees it as much. It's a little bit more old school. We'll go and take a look at that in a moment. But as I head round, what a tease, what an absolute tease. What a sexy corner of a stadium. So, every time I do these stadium tours, guys, remember I'm going to all 20 this season. Every time I go, I need to pick up one item from the club shop. In Liverpool, we picked up like a orangutan. In Everton, we picked up some Hawaiian shorts with the Everton logo. Villa, we picked up a Hawaiian shirt with the logo. So what we're going to pick up at the Wolves store, it was closed when I pulled up. I'm hoping, it's just over here, I'm hoping it'll be open soon. Security guy did say it might be open about 10 o'clock. So we're just heading around the front now. The Stan Cullis stand, which is where we've parked and which is where the tour will take place, according to the website. We've got Wolfie's Den over there, which I'm guessing is kind of a play area of some kind for kids. Wolfie's Den. We even got the eyes, the branding on the doors again. And here we go, here's the Wolves Mega Store. Well then guys, it's about 15 minutes before the tour begins. I've got my clock. Well, that'll look quite nice in my football paradise. If you don't know, I've got a bit of a man cave on the go, a bit of a shed thing. I'm gonna pop this in the car and let's get on the bloody tour, shall we? So I was just heading in to do the tour and I recognised this guy over here and I thought, do I approach him?
It's Mr. Drone UK. I've had a channel for a while now and I've just been here, as luck would have it. I've just been here and I've just done a drone video of it.
Just
so
done a drone video. Awesome. So check out that channel.
You're heading in to do the tour?
I'm headed in to do the tour. I happened to run across your channel because you've been doing the updates to what stand is it in Anfield?
Anfield. It's the Anfield Road stand.
The Anfield
and I
Road
do
stand.
Bramley Moor Dock, the Everton stand.
That's it. And we visited Bramley Moor Dock as well. So obviously researching beforehand to do those tours, I stumbled across your channall. Small world and all that. Lovely to meet you.
It is lovely to meet you. So Roy's doing the tour.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. Then you can watch mine from the air if you want. You can get both
all
angles.
areas covered. Perfect.
We've got you covered, guys. Enjoy, Roy.
Tidy.
We then fought combined with the local cricket team, who were called the Wanderers, and we became Wolverhampton Wanderers in 1878.
So some really interesting facts. I feel a bit of a fool actually. It shows how little I know about Wolves. The crest, the logo I mentioned being modern and new, is actually about 50 years old. I've seen some of the older shirts. They used it prior to that one I mentioned in the mid-90s. So yeah, lots of firsts as well. Founding members of the Football League, first to win all 3 domestic English Cups. Big club, Wolves. People like my age, you know, where they were in the Championship or what was it, Division 1 back then, just think, oh, maybe they're not that big, but especially in the 50s, Wolves were smashing it. And Molineux, it's impressive. So as you can see behind me, safe standing. There's some really good screens in the corner as well, massive screens. We don't get those at Old Trafford. It's the beauty of having the open corners. Similar screens to Villa Park. One thing you do notice though is how set back the stands are to the pitch. As you can see over there, they've kind of got this hexagonal kind of arch. They're not right up close, they're not kind of parallel with the pitch. So the tour guide did mention that Wolves actually don't own Molineux, it belongs to Wolverhampton Council, but they do have the lease for like 999 years. So in our lifetime, Wolves are going to be playing on that pitch. So I did just mention that the stands are quite far away from the pitch, but that can't be said for the Stan Cullis stand because look how close I am to the goal. Jose Sarr would literally be that close to the front row. So it is actually really close to the pitch in certain stands. It just seems to be the side stands over there, which is weird. Normally you get football grounds where behind the goal it's slightly arched, like the old Stamford Bridge. Molineux's kind of the other way around, the actual side stands are arched. So these seats over there in the corner aren't actually for sale to the public. You've got program sellers should I say, people that work on the turnstiles, basically staff that kind of spend a bit of the time out here watching a game, and you know, then they've got to go back to whatever they're doing. They'll sit over there, and here's the side I mentioned. Look at that huge gap between the pitch and the stand. Really unusual for like a side stand, as I mentioned. You normally find those behind the goal. Push signs as the logo. The tour guide did mention that they don't tend to put Wolves or Wolverhampton Wanderers on anything. They literally just put the badge. They say badge, not logo. Incredible branding.
Tailgates, a false floor there to make sure that they are equidistant from the new halfway line. Because, as I said, the guys will be painted shortly. So to your right, is Molineux House. So this was the private residence of the Molineux family. Obviously, as you've probably guessed, French in origin, French Protestants, founded out of France, came first to Nottingham and then to here. They didn't build the house. It was built by a man called, and I kid you not, John Rotten. And so he turned out. He died leaving huge amounts of debts, and the Molineux family got the house as their reparation for his debts. But it was known as Molineux House straight away. The alley was redesignated as Molineux Alley, and this, of course, the official old name of the ground, Molineux Grounds.
So this is the new manager at Wolves.
Press conference.
Press conference. Oh, the speaker's on. And this is the first interview, and this is his...
Hello ladies and gents, welcome to this press conference. Unfortunately, I've got notes here saying that Pedro Neto has actually picked up a serious injury and he's going to be out for the rest of the season.
So this is apparently where they'll film the actual like Sky Sports, TNT Sports and stuff. This is the studio. Obviously it looks nothing like this on telly, but tomorrow Wolves are playing Newcastle live. I think it's on Sky Sports, and it will be right here. The studio will be right here. So you can see on telly it looks massive, but in person it's quite tiny.
But this room is dedicated to Billy, right? So it's called Billy's boot room. So Jack almost worshipped the ground he walked on.
Apparently this is a Molineux rose.
We did very well. It's a very long lasting. We did 3 or 4 shows a year. I even managed winter before last to get 1 rose to last through Christmas and into the new year. But all in these beds are Molineux roses.
So when we went to Goodison, we made reference to the fact that there's only 6 showers in the away changing room. In Molineux, the away changing room only has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nothing too fancy here in the away dressing room. It's like an old leisure centre from PE back in the day. Oh wow, it's a bit better.
Thank you. Do not read anything into it. This will be from the last home game. This isn't necessarily tomorrow's squad. He'll come in and do it.
Just a reminder guys, Fantasy 5, he's one of the 5 picks. Again, I shouldn't be so obsessed with the branding. But look, whatever that is. So as well, we're bound to have more than 5 showers, aren't we? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus whatever this is over here. And if you just turn the corner, Wolves have got an actual gym adjacent to the changing room. Look at this.
These ones, the as worn are £110. If you just want a replica one, they're 50 odd quid, 55 this season, I think.
So shout out again to Fantasy 5 for sponsoring this video. Remember, the first of my 5 picks is this man right here, Pedro Neto. I think he's going to have a great game against Newcastle. Second, I've got Bukayo Saka against Sheffield, for Arsenal obviously against Sheffield United, home game. I think he's going to do great. Then I've got to go for Dunk for Brighton as my 3rd pick. He's been on form lately, he's been playing for England. I think he's definitely going to get a clean sheet at home against Fulham. Number 4 is going to be Diaby for Aston Villa. Villa are flying high. I was going to go with Watkins, but the points goal, the points target for Watkins is higher, so I'm going to go for Diaby as number 4. Last but not least, I'm going to go for number 5, Rasmus Højlund. He's due a Premier League goal, and I think he's going to get it in the Manchester derby. Remember, we're going to be at Manchester United, we're going to be at Old Trafford for the Manchester derby this Sunday live. We're going to be doing a matchday vlog, and on that vlog I can share with you how I got on with Fantasy 5, my results. Link in the description below, guys. Fantasy 5, free to play, loads to win. So I'm sat right here in the away dugout. As you probably guessed, everyone is in the home dugout. Really good view. Let me just spin it around for you guys. If you look at that pitch, it's actually not that sloped. If you go to Old Trafford or Goodison, as we did the other week, pitches are like arched to run the rainwater off. Obviously there would be a slight arch there, but a lot flatter a pitch. An absolute mammoth of a stadium. It only holds 32,000 people roughly, but in terms of in the actual stands themselves, they're massive, as you've seen. So obviously, tunnel over there, and as we saw previously, loads and loads of space between the actual stand itself and the pitch. Big, huge gap. Obviously, dugouts right here. Quite unusual again. Just fascinated why there's such a gap for a side stand. Wolves fans, let me know in the comment section below. They are preparing, because obviously tomorrow they're going to be facing Newcastle. That pretty much concludes the tour, guys. We'll catch up outside the car, maybe even do a little bit of a tour outside that one side stand, which I think is that one over there, which doesn't look quite as picturesque. Yeah, we'll do our conclusion over there, but so far today, really enjoyed it. Again, thanks to the people at Fantasy 5 for sponsoring the video. It's allowed me to basically get all access around Molineux. Thank you to the tour guide, I'll get his name in a moment. Thanks to Wolves, very, very accommodating. This has probably been one of the most in-depth tours we've done so far. It said 1.5 hours to 2 hours for a tour. 2.5 hours later, we're done. I'm not complaining. Definitely value for money. So that tour cost £20. 20 Great British pounds. So it's probably, well, that definitely is the cheapest tour we've done so far on this quest to tour all 20 Premier League clubs this season. Very much enjoyed today, guys. As we finish up, outside this side over here, we'll have a little summary of the day's events. So thanks for watching, guys. We're going to finish up here. I think this is the Steve Bull stand, possibly. It's a little bit more of an edgy, rugged looking stand from the outside. The rest on the roadside are a little prettier. It kind of looks like a 1960s multi-storey car park. It's a little bit iffy looking, but you can't mark Wolves down for that. Everything else was top notch, especially internally. I keep going on about the bloody branding and stuff. But yeah, different. That's what I mean. A lot of people do these stadium tours and they mark them or they rank them against each other, do like a chart as to which is best and which is worst. But how can you do that? Like last time when we went to Liverpool, how can you compare Anfield to Goodison? How can you compare Molineux to, I don't know, a new stadium? They're all quirky, they've all got their own little edgy ways. United always come under criticism for having a slightly run-down stadium. And again, you know, the club shop earlier, really good club shop. They did loads of different items. We got a clock. That's one thing I always downgrade United for. We did pop into that club shop on Tuesday for the Champions League game. The Man United club shop is basically just a mega store for Adidas, like an Adidas clothing mega store. There's no quirky items in there. Wolves had loads of quirky items for kids, loads of novelty items, and it was decent. So thanks very much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, like the video if you like the video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the Manchester derby matchday vlog this Sunday. See you then.